What is up, and welcome back. Thank you so much for checking in today. I'm Jonathan, and we have Adam Brawer in today from Sentinel Pictures.
Yep.
And he's going to tell us a little bit about how he weaves his mindfulness practice into his business success. I think the success speaks for itself, but I'd love to hear your perspective on that. So if you could just get us started by telling us a little bit about your production company, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. So Sentinel Pictures started as my brainchild with my lawyer at the time. And
always a good partner to have.
Great partner. Phenomenal partner. It's sort of like the creative and analytical minds became one. And we're really passionate about storytelling involving certain themes that travels throughout the world. So not, like comedies, for instance, are like really domestic culturally. Comedies don't travel to Europe, they don't travel to Asia.
Romance travels borders much easier.
100%, yeah. And so do thrillers and other genres. So we decided what we were going to do is set up a company that focuses on development as opposed to production, where we control everything. So we control the intellectual property, we bring the writers on, we have as much creative control as possible. We put together a package, including directors and actors, and then we bring the financing to the table from there.
Damn.
And so we called it Sentinel Pictures because when we first went out to raise some money, Sentinel means a protector, somebody who stands sentinel, and we wanted our investors to feel like their money was protected. So we came up with Sentinel Pictures, and we've made 2 films. We're in the process. We're in pre-production on our 3rd film now, which I'm really excited about. It takes place in Paris. And
can we keep an eye out for it?
Yeah,
Can you talk about it?
It's called Run Away With Me.
Run Away With Me.
And it's a romantic thriller in the vein of True Romance. So it's about an American who goes to Paris for his best friend's bachelor party, and he falls in love with a beautiful woman.
Okay.
He knows nothing about her. And on his last day, he approaches her and says, "Listen, I have no money, but I know this beautiful beach, and I would love for you to join me there. Come and run away with me." And she agrees, and then she disappears. And what he doesn't know is that she's actually been forced into the lifestyle of being a high-end escort. She was a model who didn't make it.
Trafficking, okay.
Trafficking. And it becomes a very dangerous trip for him as there's a ransom and the police get involved, and not all is what it seems. So
sounds like a fun book to read too.
Yeah, the writer wrote Rambo, which comes out on Friday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Matt Cerolnik.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. So we started Sentinel as sort of an incubator for stories where we control everything and bring in top-level talent, because these are films that the studios aren't really making anymore. They're not, huge franchises. They're not based on comic books.
Marvel, yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, what stories transcend borders that are theatrical, that...
This one has it all.
We hope so.
With a little bit of Taken.
Absolutely, yeah. It's sexy, it's violent, it's dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the good things.
Sounds amazing. Wow. So can we find that on Instagram, or where's the best place to support that in the meantime?
In the meantime, there are some articles. You can see some articles in Variety and Hollywood Reporter. I would say just track it. It's probably a year away from release.
Okay.
So run away with me. Just.
We'll put it in the show notes. So Adam, I think your journey coming here to become, the founder of this company, there's obviously more to the story there. Can you tell me a little bit about the stage that set you up for Sentinel?
Yes.
In your past history and how you got your in?
Absolutely. So, born and raised in Brooklyn.
That's a great start.
Always a great start. Some of the best hustlers in the world come from Brooklyn.
Yep.
On both sides of the law.
Very true.
I went to Tulane my freshman year. Graduated
down south.
Down south, New Orleans.
Awesome.
Total culture shock. Very interesting place to live.
Been there a lot.
Yeah.
Jacquemo's.
Yes.
Favorite.
Great, yeah, there's some great watering holes down there. It's Mardi Gras every weekend, which has its pros and cons.
Yep.
Then I transferred to the University of Miami. Double majored in screenwriting and international studies.
Okay, perfect.
And studied abroad in London. And when I was in London, I was working for a magazine called The Fader, which is sort of like Rolling Stone, based in New York. It was really hot at the time. And my minor was music industry management. I thought I wanted to be a music agent. So while I was in London, it was really easy to meet people as like this young kid from Brooklyn working for this hot new magazine. Met a lot of people, ended up booking a couple concerts. In 2004, we did a Sean Paul MTV Europe event. That became a really cool event. Then we did the World B-Boy Championships 2004, where we booked LL Cool J and De La Soul and Slick Rick. And had a blast.
You're in your 20s at this point.
I was doing this out of my dorm room. Yeah.
Out of your dorm room?
Out of my dorm room. Another guy you should probably talk to is Jesse Kirschbaum, who owns New Agency. I'll connect you guys later.
Definitely.
He's here as well. And he was a couple years older. He was the youngest vice president of a talent agency in America at the time. I think he was 25 or maybe 26.
Crazy.
Yeah. And I was
out of your dorm room.
Yeah. So I'm out of my dorm room. He's a few years older. He had the talent relationships. I had the relationships with the buyers with money to buy talent. So I thought I wanted to be a music agent. And in Miami, within a couple months, WME at the time, William Morris, opened up shop, a little boutique office on South Beach. And I was told by a friend at the time, "You look like an agent." And I was like, "Oh, maybe I'm
an agent now."
So I interviewed, and they offered me a job. And I didn't want to stay in Miami because I didn't speak Spanish, and I'm not interested in Latin music, and I wasn't at the time. So I moved here, got a job at WME, pre-merger here.
Oh, wow.
And I started in the mailroom, started totally at the bottom, and transitioned into television at the agency, packaging game shows like Dancing with the Stars, American Idol.
So you've been behind the scenes on all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, and also literally starting at, like, the first thing I ever did was a J-Lo video called Love Don't Cost a Thing in Miami for MTV.
I think a few of us know that.
Yeah, it was a great video. It was a fun time. She was top of the world, 2003.
Crazy.
So I transitioned from there into development at a production company, Fremantle. It produces American Idol and America's Got Talent. And my specialty was bringing in artists for like docudramas. So I brought in Lauryn Hill, I brought in Timbaland, and I brought in G-Unit. And none of those they went to pilot, but none of those went to series. And from there, I produced reality TV for a few years.
All the while, you're planting your seeds, infusing these connections. So
absolutely.
You were the plug.
Yeah, totally. So I had the artist relationships, and I was also, I had a bit of a corporate pedigree at the time. And so it was really cool connecting those dots. And the last show that I did was the show called Solitary, which was a Fox reality show where we had people literally in solitary confinement. And I didn't really know what I was getting into. I was a story producer on it, and it was like a Stanford prison experiment. It was really disturbing. We had somebody have a breakdown. Somebody had a...
Now these are real inmates.
Yeah, they're not real. We cast random people who were interested in signing up to go into solitary confinement.
Jeez.
And we wired each cell. We built this on a soundstage in the Valley. We wired each cell with multiple cameras. We kept people up for 36 hours so they were disoriented. I'm not proud about this, by the way.
Wow.
They didn't know what time it was, where they were, and people started to crack. And it was basically like Survivor in solitary confinement, the last person to survive. And so after that experience, I decided that this is not fulfilling. I'm actually not proud to be a part of this project. And I wanted to get involved in meaningful storytelling. And so I started reading.
More impact-driven?
Now, yes. At that point, I wasn't really socially conscious per se.
Got it.
My ego was sort of running the asylum, and I was like, I want to make big movies and have a great time and wear great suits and red carpet.
That's okay. I mean, at that stage in your career, I encourage people to be selfish.
For sure.
You got to find yourself.
100%. And
you got to find what you don't like.
Yeah, and that was my path. I did a number of things that I kind of liked, and then liked a little bit more, and then liked a lot more, and sort of homed in on what I really enjoyed. And so I started reading, started meeting with writers. I was a screenwriting major in college, but never post-college. I hadn't written anything and wasn't really exploring that at all. And the first film pitch we took out, which was sort of like a Die Hard-esque action film on a super tanker, very loosely based on real events, we sold, and I was really excited, and it was, you know, it's set on the water, and my lawyer at the time, who's my partner now, David, he loves boats. He loves yachts. He has a yacht. And he was really excited about this Die Hard on a yacht, on a super tanker type movie.
Sounds badass.
Yeah, it was great. And he and I sat down and I said, let's talk about the reality of this film. Right now, it's not even a script yet. It's a pitch that, you know, we have major partners on, but it's the likelihood of this becoming a film, like actually a theatrical film, is slim. So much like a hedge fund model, let's put together a slate of 10 to 20 of these projects, and then 1 or 2 of them will get made. And or like the record company model, it's like you've got 10 artists, 1 of them hits, and then the slate is green.
Venture capital too.
Exactly. So anyway, that's sort of the genesis of the operation, and yeah.
It's amazing. So I think there's so many. Well, I had a lot of questions along the way.
Yeah.
Didn't want to derail you too much. But you know, one of the things that keeps coming up is you know, how you have developed as a person and manifested that through your businesses, and you know, taken these learnings of what you like and don't like, and woven them into what is now, you know, your company, which sounds like your masterpiece. So, you know, when we think about like the purpose behind the business, and you being mindful of that purpose, how would you say that the purpose drives the business as it is today?
Here's what I would say. So, I have evolved since we've been as the company's evolved. And when we first started, I was focused. I had more of a single-track mind, and I was just really focused on getting projects off the ground. Over the course of several years, I've gotten into yoga and meditation and sound nutrition. And
sound nutrition, I haven't heard that term for it.
Yeah, and as I've nurtured myself, my mind has opened up. I've become a lot more conscious, a lot more aware, and with that awareness, I've developed a gratitude practice. And years ago, my girlfriend, my partner at the time, had been encouraging me to give back, because other than, you know, giving a little bit of money or some clothes, there wasn't any service that was part of my life at all. And so I started volunteering at a shelter, and recently I've been leading gratitude meditations there. And
at the shelter?
At the shelter, yeah.
Amazing.
And it's really been transformative for myself, and I think for them as well. And so, you know, as the company's concerned, certain films, like for instance this film Run Away With Me, there's a theme of human trafficking. And what we're doing is we're weaving in a charity component where a portion of the proceeds go back to this anti-trafficking organization.
Yeah.
So the storytelling is a very transformative media, and much like music and other forms of art, speak to people on a really deep level, can really touch people, can spark conversations.
It's long form, you know, you got somebody for 2 hours, especially on a romantic thriller, your heart's really involved in that.
Yeah.
And so you become so passionate about the conflicts.
Yeah.
And that's a great, like, I can't think of a more powerful way to propel somebody into, you know, making a move for good as a watcher or as a viewer, you know?
Totally. Because it can act as a Trojan horse, where you come in for the entertainment, and then you're like, holy shit, I'm so passionate about this cause.
Wow.
So, yeah, there are certain themes that speak to me that also speak to social issues that raise awareness. You know, for instance, the first film that we did was a film called Match, starring Patrick Stewart, Professor X, the X-Men. Yeah. And it had, you know, there was a theme that dealt with the LGBTQ community, and these themes are universal. Like, it's not just, so, you know, it's sort of like, I look at a film like Moonlight, which is a film, thank God Brad Pitt got involved and helped produce it and get it made, because it was such a beautiful, small film that spoke to so many people and then won the Oscar. And it was like $1.5 million film
Crazy.
that was incredibly profitable. Incredibly profitable.
That's so wild to think about.
Yeah. And
For a small film.
Yeah, for such a small film.
budget.
And most people say no to those movies because there's, that was, Mahershala wasn't really, quite a household name then. And so for me, storytelling is a vehicle for social change.
Excellent. And now, can we zoom in a little bit to Adam's life and how you use your health and mindfulness habits to set yourself up for success day to day? Like, what does your morning routine look like? So
I have a very in-depth morning routine. And it's grown over the years. I've added layers, I've subtracted layers. It's fluid, and here's what it is. So I'll get up, I'll snooze for 10 minutes, and in those 10 minutes, schedule my 10 minutes, I will consciously relax the entirety of my being as fully and completely as I'm capable of in that moment, and enter a deep sense of peace and relaxation. Then I get up, I boil some water, take a probiotic, have water with some lemon. Wow. And then I journal, and it's usually my dreams. Ever since I've been doing morning pages, my dreams will come back to me.
Wow.
So, and I've noticed lots of themes throughout my dreams that are relating to conversations that I'm having or things that I'm going through.
Amazing.
In my real life. So
it's like you're tapping into this divine narrative.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like reminding myself, and it's interesting because you don't dream in thoughts, you dream in images, and these visuals that are metaphors for what you're going through or what somebody in your life is going through. So I'll do that.
So you have your probiotic, you have your lemon water, your hot lemon water?
Hot lemon water. Okay. Brush my teeth, do a little oral rinse, journal. Then I jump on or step onto an acupressure mat, which releases endorphins and oxytocin into my bloodstream. It increases my circulation, and I start doing joint rolls from my neck all the way down to my ankles. Lubricate all my joints in my body.
With a roller? Like a tiger roll?
I'll stand on it's called a bed of nails. It's like an acupressure mat. I'll stand on it as I'm doing all of my rolls. And so the acupressure is stimulating all of my meridians and releasing these great hormones.
And what was the mat called that
it's
you
called
used, the acupressure
the
mat?
Bed of Nails.
Bed of Nails.
Yeah,
so put that in the show notes.
bedofnails.org. I've gifted like so many of those. It's a phenomenal gift. I've given them to myself as well.
And then all the family members have been resisting mindfulness.
Totally, exactly. It's mindfulness for dummies because I got off coffee 14 months ago, and this is really just impressive. Been great. So I'll do 3 minutes of fire breathing as I stimulate this one acupressure point in my hand.
Now, can you tell the audience what fire breathing is? I mean, I've heard a little bit about it,
but I can sort of show you. This is a seated version, and I'll just show you.
Should I follow along?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
So we'll sit. Yep. Perfect. Exactly. And we're going to be inhaling and exhaling through our nose. And for each exhale, you're going to pump right over there. And what this is doing in the yogic tradition is it is creating an energetic shield around you by manipulating this meridian as you're building up your chi. So you're going to breathe from down here and just focus on the exhale. So we'll do it fairly slowly, because when you focus just on the exhale, the inhale is automatic. Okay. So and as you do that, you can also smile, and it tricks the mind into putting
can already feel it in my head.
It feels amazing. Yeah.
It's like a sensation of oxygen.
Absolutely.
Rushing this way.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that really elevates my energy and puts me in a really great frame of mind. Then I jump on a rebounder for 3 minutes, trampoline, and just shake every limb of my body. I throw some music on, the surround sound, and I'm just getting it all out there. Just really just getting it all out there, all the lymphs moving, and by that time I'm feeling phenomenal. Then I actually have a chaga mushroom elixir. They actually have it downstairs. Black Magic Alchemy. It's anti-inflammatory. And then I make another.
Where do you buy that from? Four Sigmatic?
It's not Four Sigmatic. It's called Black Magic Alchemy. That's
a brand.
It's the brand. Yeah. So you can get it on I think blackmagicalchemy.com. Shane is the owner. And then I do another elixir with cacao and maca and lion's mane and a bunch of things.
Every morning?
Every single morning.
Okay. And how long does your routine last?
The it's lengthy.
3 hours?
No, it's not quite that long. It's a little bit less than 2 hours. There's a cold shower.
So you don't do workout, you don't do yoga?
I do a workout. The workout is either a hike. I live in Topanga. It's like a 30-minute hike, quick hike, or the 7-minute workout, the app.
I'm familiar.
And I've also been doing these burpees that are pretty intense.
Seem like you enjoy the invigorating.
Absolutely. I like to move all the energy. And then I will do a Wim Hof style breath work followed by a meditation. And the meditation is, most recently, it's been a Joe Dispenza guided gratitude
Amazing
meditation.
guy.
Yeah.
The king of mind-body connection.
Yeah.
Mind-body-spirit connection, I would say.
Totally.
Okay, and so you've obviously spent years and years refining this routine.
I have.
And it sounds like it's habit at this point, which I'm really proud to hear.
Yeah.
And, I guess for somebody who's just entering the mindfulness realm, what's the one thing that you would give them?
Okay.
To get started on their journey.
Honestly, for me, if I were to start today, I would start with the breath and followed by a gratitude meditation. For me, the breath stills the mind, gets you into a place where you're quiet enough that you can dip your brain waves down a little bit, and either
Tiger breathing or Wim Hof?
I would probably do Wim Hof.
Okay.
For me,
100 breaths maybe?
I would do 3 sets of like 33. So yeah.
Yeah, he has a track on YouTube that includes the 100 breath routine, and anyone can access that.
Yeah, he's great. His cold showers are great as well.
Okay, so Wim Hof breathing and gratitude.
And gratitude meditation, yeah. And that can take you like 10 minutes.
Which app do you use for meditation, or do you?
I mean, there's a Joe Dispenza guided meditation that I use.
Okay.
And I oftentimes, there's Zendo that I go to. Oftentimes it'll be a silent meditation. And gratitude is extremely powerful.
Do you write your gratitudes on the whiteboard or in the journal?
I do in the journal. Oftentimes I'll say it. There's one other thing that I'd like to mention because it's actually truly changed my life in the last few months. There's a practice that I do called priming the day. So it takes a minute. I will present tense say what I am so thrilled about is happening right now. It can be anything. And after I put that out in the universe, the day shifts in pretty incredible ways.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a North Star, just like whoosh.
Yeah, part of my lazy mind in the morning wants to say like, oh, well, there's not really anything to be like super stoked about today.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, today it's like I get to meet somebody like you and learn a lot from you and be at this awesome event with a bunch of mindful people.
Yeah.
Something to be stoked about, right?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
And we're breathing and we're walking and we're not injured and we're alive and we're not starving,
Well fed.
Yeah.
Man, so many golden nuggets. Yeah, I'm awash with gratitude for you sharing all that, and it's there's so much for me to learn. I thought I had a rigorous morning routine.
And mine's really it's very involved. And I've noticed that there's an inner strength and a power that comes with that because I know I can control that every single morning, and it sets the foundation for the day, no matter what happens. And the confidence, yeah.
Yeah, really. In my experience, waking up early is a real sense of confidence because you feel so ahead.
Yeah.
Even though it's like I'm not even competing with these people, it's like I like to be ready an hour in advance. Like, how crazy is that?
Not crazy at all.
It really is empowering. So, I think, I know that you're on a tight schedule, and I want to respect that. But I totally value what you shared today. I mean, you could be a coach and a mindfulness leader in itself just with what you shared here. So my last question for you is, how are you moving business forward through your mindfulness practice? Do you see it move the needle, and it's okay to say no? Maybe it's not to move the needle, but I'm wondering, is that where this takes business?
I would say yes. For me, at least in the world of entertainment, a lot of people aren't very present. People, at least in my experience, they're on the phone, they might also be checking Instagram, they might be checking emails at the same time, they're doing a lot of different things. When I really cultivate my presence and I am firmly in this moment 100% of the time, and I connect with someone at that level, I bring them into the present moment, and there's an energetic exchange that's a little bit different. They're more engaged, they're more receptive, they're more interested, and they're a little bit surprised sometimes, especially if they're not super conscious. It's a different feeling. Sometimes they might get uncomfortable, sometimes they might get really engaged and lean in and want to get really involved. So for me, it's using my presence as a way to engage and bring people together.
I couldn't agree more. I felt that energy. I felt your full sense of attention. I mean, even myself being I'm a creative, I'm strong right brain, right? Like my senses are always firing. But when somebody else brings you that full attention, you can return it. Yeah. I can return it very easily with you. And I love the quote, the greatest gift you can give is your full attention. And that's in some of the meditations I do every morning. And going in with that narrative, it's just like, if I don't have anything to give today, at least I can give my full attention.
Yes.
And in my experience, observing, every day you're in sales, like it or not, right? Yeah. So, and literally in your case, you are. I've noticed that sense of trust that is instilled with that attention is like, there's nobody more important than you right now than this interaction. And the level of trust is the basis of sales. And that's why I'm so fascinated by this, because now I trust you. And I hope that, I
trust you as well.
Fostered that in you as well. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And, I think you've lived out every word that you shared with us, so I respect that.
Thanks, Jonathan. It's been a pleasure.
Adam, thank you so much for your time. And how can we support you from the audience? Should we go follow Instagram? Should we sign up for an email list?
There isn't an email list, and I actually just joined Instagram, to be honest. I had been resistant until very recently, and I've been really enjoying it lately.
Mindfully. In batches.
Exactly.
If you batch it can be done.
It's a tool, and you can use it, or it can use you potentially, much like your mind, actually. My Instagram handle is Yogi Raconteur, Yogi Storyteller.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we'll have people follow. We'll put that in the show notes as well.
Great.
And anything else you want to share, we'll put that in the notes. So Adam, I really appreciate your time.
Have
a wonderful rest of your time here. Okay.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Cheers.
Ciao.